Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I've been thinking and playing a lot of Mega Man recently. It's been a while since you made a game, Capcom. Come on, get it going. I've also been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite recently, which got me thinking, what if there was a Mega Man MOBA? You would call it Mega Man Robots Ready. This name would be based on whenever Mega Man spawns in, he just says ready. By the way, this is just an idea. I can't actually code, and below up so Capcom actually sees it. Make this game. I give you permission to use your own characters and make a video game. Do it. The main mode is a last person standing kind of mode, where it just sends you out onto like a battle royale like map at random places. You'll slowly be pushed to the center in standard battle royale fashion. In the beginning of the match, the yellow devil and the dragon spawn in the center of the map, which can be killed for permanent buffs for your whole team. So it's kind of risk-reward thing. Teams can waver from solo to 5 stacks. Now that we have the game mode, let's talk about the character types. There's 5 different character types in the game. Buster, a long-range damaging character that has low HP. Tank, a high HP, high damage, but slow. A speed, which is just fast characters with low HP. Balance, which is balance of all 3 of those. And unpredictable, which are just characters that don't fit into any of these categories. Every single character will consist of a passive ability, a basic attack, a ability that goes on cooldown after use, and a super, which has a very long cooldown. Every character will also be able to jump. Now we get to move on to the characters, which is the main part of the game. First off, we got the man, the Mega Man. He is a Buster, which is kind of like an attacker in Pokemon Unite. If you like that game, subscribe, because I play that almost every single day. So be there. His first attack is the Mega Buster. Of course, this is just his main attack. Shoots 3 shots. His ability is the charge shot, which is just a powerful laser that shoots forward. His ultimate is the variable weapon system, which is he just takes the closest enemy's ultimate and uses it for himself. His passive is a slide, which he can use anytime. Alright, next up we got Proto Man, Mega Man's brother, is the first tank of the game. He will be given the Proto Buster as his main attack, which is just a powerful single shot. His ability, he just pulls out a shield, which is blocks any damage from in front of him, which is really good. But if they get behind him, it's over. His ultimate is a reactor blast, which is just a huge explosion around him that makes that leaves a nuclear area. His passive ability is the whistle, his main song, and he heals when he starts whistling when he's not fighting. Alright, the first speedster of the game is Bass. His ability is Bass Buster, which is he slows down and he just spams rapid fire blasts. His ability is he just boosts forwards and kicks enemies. That's the boost kick. His ultimate is a treble fuse. Fuses with treble and powers up and flies. Flying in this game is really good. Some characters have it, some characters don't. It just makes you basically invincible while you're flying in the air, and you can shoot down on enemies, but most enemies cannot shoot up. Only a few enemies can shoot up, like Airman, because he has an arc with his shots, and Metal Man like that. His passive is Start Energy, which he does more damage when he's at full HP. Now we have Team Light, who are the first balanced of the game, but they are kind of a weird couple of characters. They're all a bunch of characters in one character. We got Rush, we got Beat, we got Eddie, and we got Tango, all in one character, and they have multiple lives per character, but they have so little HP that it kind of balances out. Rush, he can just turn the jet form and dash into characters, and he also has Search, which makes him ping items around him. Beat is up next. He can peck, and he can fly. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of stuff. Alright, next up we got Eddie, which he throws bombs like he does in Mega Man 8. We all remember Mega Man 8, right? And he has health pickup, which is just heals himself or allies around him. Next up in that character fusion thing, we got Tango, which is a spinning dash, and it also has camo. This character doesn't have any ultimates, but each character has one damaging move and one ability. Next up, we got the first unpredictable character of the game, and that is Roll herself. The only girl in the game so far, because I only did Mega Man 1 through 3. We got Roll. Roll's first attack is a roll swing. She pulls out her broom and she does 3-hit combos. Her ability is item pull, which is she just gets a random item, kind of like Peach's down B from Smash Brothers. Her super move is one of the most unique in the games, and that is Roboenza itself. And she can give it to 2 enemies, and they start using their ultimates against each other. Her passive is Health Please, which makes her heal randomly at once per battle, so that fills her all the way back to full HP once a battle. The first robot master that we put in the game is Cutman, of course. He is a buster character. His first attack is Rolling Cutter, which he throws his scissors and kind of homes in on people a little bit, and it comes back to him. His ability is Cutting Dash, which has him dash forward and then snip after that as a 2-hit combo. His ultimate is a Giant Cut, which makes him throw a giant pair of scissors that can bounce off walls, and it just bounces around the map for a while. His passive is Heels Overhead. As I said earlier, the characters can jump. If anyone jumps around him, though, the scissors on his head just snips their legs, and he does damage to them. Alright, next up we got Dummy Thick Guts Man. He's a tank, of course. He is the most standard tank in this game. His main attack is just punching. His ability is Super Arm, which has him pick up a giant boulder and just throw it at enemies. He can also roll it. His super ability is just grabbing an enemy, and he just slams them against the ground, dealing big damage. His passive, though, is Heavy Jump. Whenever he jumps, there's a small earthquake around him that stuns enemies. Next up, we got Bomb Man. He's a balanced. He has a Hyper Bomb, which just throws a bomb that does AoE damage. And his ability is Kamikaze, which has Bomb Man turn himself into a bomb and explodes. If he doesn't hit anybody, though, with this ability, then he hurts himself. His ultimate is Airstrike, which has him target an area on the map, and if there's anyone there, then he just explodes that part of the map. His passive is Exploding Jump. Whenever he jumps, he leaves a small bomb that explodes and deals damage. Next up is Luckman. He's a speedster. His normal attack is Thunder Beam, which shoots 3 bolts of electricity in front of him. His ability is Electric Boost, which has him speed and power up. His ultimate is Stunning Shock, which has him have a very big explosion around him of electricity, which stuns enemies and does damage. His passive is Electric Senses, which has him ping an enemy on the map. Next up is Iceman. He is a speedster, and his first ability is Ice Slasher, of course, which has him shoot beams of ice that freeze enemies. Freezing enemies just keeps him there for a second. His ability is Ice Rink, which has him cover an area around himself in snow, and that makes him move faster and makes enemies move slower. His ultimate is Ice Cool Impale, which has him shoot an icicle on an enemy and freeze them to that spot. This is a sure hit move. His passive is Ice Trail, which leaves a trail of ice wherever he goes, and enemies behind him get frozen if they stay behind him for enough time. The last robot master from Mega Man 1 is Fireman. He is a balanced, and he has 2 main attacks, which are Firestorm, shoots a fireball that makes a small flame fly around him, like the Firestorm from that Mega Man has. His second main attack is Eternal Fire, which has him shoot a continuous flame at short range. It's kind of like a flamethrower. And his ability is Burn Up, which gives him a shield and power boost. His ultimate is a Turn in Flames, which has him change from Firestorm to Eternal Fire, or Eternal Fire to Firestorm, which this move ultimate has a lower cooldown than most other ultimates. And his passive is Burn. All moves that he uses has a chance to burn enemies. That's the last from Mega Man 1, but then I was like, wait, I like the Archie comics. Let's put in Time Man and Oil Man. I know you guys hate that. Stop judging me. So first up is Time Man. He is an unpredictable, and his main attack is Clock's Arrows, which he shoots arrows from his hands if they have a random chance of being hour, minute, or second, which do varying degrees of damage or speed of the attack. His ability is Time Slow, which just slows enemies around him. His ability is a unique one, which is Time's Up, which has enemies' cooldowns slowed permanently. They get added a second to their abilities cooldowns. His passive is Walking on Time, which means he does not get affected by any other character's slowness to him. Next up is Oil Man. Of course, he's a speed, and his first ability is Oil Blob, which just shoots blobs of oil that slow enemies and stay on the ground for up to 20 seconds. His ability is Oil Slider, slides on oil to crash into enemies. His ultimate is Oil Pull, which has all the oil left on the ground pull back to him, and if any enemies are in that trail, they get hit and take damage. We move on to Mega Man 2's characters, which are, of course, all really good characters and really nostalgic characters. So we start off with the main broken one, Metal Man. Metal Man is a buster character, and his main attack is Metal Blade, of course. A blade that can hit flying enemies. These are really good because if a flying enemy is hit, they actually get knocked out of the air. His ability is Treadmill, which makes a treadmill that pushes enemies away. He is, of course, a buster character, so you want to have a little bit of range, so if people get too close, then the treadmill can just push them away quickly, and you can start spamming them with those metal blades again. His ultimate is Metal Sphere, which has him throw metal blades in every direction at once, so it looks like there's a giant sphere of metal blades around him. His passive is Super Legs, which has him jump 2 blocks instead of 1 block. Next up is Flashman. He's an unpredictable. His regular shot is a Flash Shot, which has him shoot rapidly. His main ability is Time Stopper, which has him freeze enemies. One enemy. Stop. Die. His main ability is Time Stopper, which has him freeze one enemy, and if they hit, they can move freely again. Flashman's ultimate is Stop, which freezes every single person on the map for 5 seconds. If they are shot, then they can be unfrozen, but this will definitely cause haywire, bro. His passive is Flash Charge, which is every time he's hit, he'll have one more shot in his next flash shot. Next up is Bubble Man. He's an unpredictable. His first attack is Bubble Lead, which has him shoot a bubble that traps enemies if they hit it. If he hits it. His ability is Swimmer, which has him make his own river, and he can swim underwater in it. His ultimate is Own Bubble, which puts himself in a bubble and he bounces around in it. His passive ability is Shake Off. If he's near any water, he can't be affected by stash conditions. This is a big counter to Flashman or Time Man or Iceman, because then they can't get their slow or stop on him. Next up, we got Quick Man. Of course, he's a tank. Of course, he's a speed. And his first attack is, of course, Quick Boomerang, which has him throws 3 boomerangs out and they come back to him. His ability is Quickest, which just gives him a speed boost and attack speed boost, and he becomes the fastest in the game, of course. His ultimate is Too Fast, which has him teleport to the targeted enemy. It looks like he teleports, but he actually just moves like at the speed of blinking. His passive is Speedy Reactions, which has him every 10 seconds he dodges one attack. This is really good if they try using your super move, and you can just like, nope. Next up is your mom. Next up is Crash Man. He's a balanced, and his first attack is Crash Bomber, which has him shoots a bomb that sticks to enemies and then blows up after a delay, or it can stick to walls. His ability is Crash, which has him charge at enemies with reckless abandon. His super move is Boom, which has him shoots bombs in all directions. I finally caught that. I didn't catch a fly. His passive is Doesn't Hurt. It has him do more damage the more damage he takes. It's the weirdly shaped fan. It's Airman. He's a tank, and his first attack is air shooter, because that shoots 5 tornadoes, which throw enemies into the air. His ability is blow, which has him blow enemies and projectiles away from him, ahead of him. His ultimate is super suck, which pulls all enemies towards him. His passive is stand strong, which means he can't be knocked back. Next up, we have my favorite Roadmaster, and I might make him broken, but that's fine. We got Heat Man. He's a tank, because I love tanks. Heat Man has atomic fire, which has him throw 3 pillars in front of him, and they burst into flame up high. We got Flyer. It's a mix between fly and fire. Makes him fly, and then for as long as he wants. Maybe not. I might nerf that. And then he slams down and explodes. His ultimate is Flame Body, which has his whole body be covered in fire. He becomes invincible, and whoever comes close to him gets damaged and burned. I'm not making him broken. Have you seen Flashman? His passive ability is Zippo Shield, which has him block 75% of damage, but he moves slowly and cannot use atomic fire. Last up is Woodman. He is a tank, of course. Why do we have 3 in a row? I don't know. His main attack is Leaf Shield, which has him block shots from in front and can be thrown at enemies. His ability is Log Roll, which has him throw log that knocks people away. His ultimate is Call of the Wild, which has him call in 3 hot dogs. His passive is Rooted, which has him slightly gain HP when he's not moving. First up from Mega Man 3 is Snake Man. He's a speedster. His main attack is Snake Shot, which has him shoot a snake that lashes onto enemies and poisons them. His ability is Search Snake, which has him dig underground. Then he takes control of a snake and can bite enemies, and has a laser. His ultimate is Big Snakey, which has him ride on a giant snakey that has its own health bar and can crash into enemies, and Snake Man can shoot from on top of it. His passive is Hunted, which has him move faster when moving toward enemies. Magnet Man, he is a buster. His first attack is Magnet Missile, which shoots a missile that locks onto enemies. This is a 100% hit rate, so you're going to hit everything unless it hits a wall. His first ability is Magnetism, which has him push or pull enemies. His ultimate is Magnet Wall, which pushes the enemy to a wall and keeps him there for a while. His passive is Living Magnet, which has him pull items from farther away from regular people. The third Robot Master from Mega Man 3 is Gemini Man. He's an unpredictable character because he is the most unpredictable character in the game, probably. His main attack is Gemini Laser, which has him shoot a laser that can bounce off walls. His ability is Gemini Brothers. He can make projective clones of himself that can shoot weak Gemini lasers. His ultimate is Bro Switch, which has him switch places with the Gemini brother. This has a lower cooldown than other ultimates. Next up is Hardman. Of course, he's a tank. Hardman's first attack is Hard Knuckle, which has him fire 2 large fists at the enemies. His ability is Earthquake, which has him slam the ground and stuns enemies around him. His ultimate is Harder Than Steel, which I definitely did not take from the Megas, and becomes invincible for a short time. His passive ability is Planted, which means he cannot be stunned. Needle Man is balanced. His first attack is Needle Cannon, which has him spray a spread of needles. His ability is Needle Headbutt, which has him shoot his spiked head and pull enemies towards him and stuns them for a short time. Needle Man's ultimate is Spinning Needle, which has him spin his spiky head thing around and gains speed. His passive is Not Quite Flight. When shooting in the air, he floats. Next up, we got Top Man. He is a speeder, and his first attack is Top Throw, which has him throw 3 tops that lock onto a single target. Not as lock-onable as Magnet Man, but still locks on a little bit. His ability is Top Spin, which has him charge up and then spin in the designated direction. And while he's doing this, he becomes invincible except for AoE damage. His ultimate is Top Too Fast, and he locks onto a single target and speeds around them, and then just starts throwing tops. Top Man's passive ability is Pro Skater, which the more he moves, the faster he gets. The third to last character we have is Sparkman. He's balanced. His first attack is Spark Shot. He shoots sparks that fly in all directions or can be charged for a huge shot. His ability is Charge, which has him stand stationary and heal up a little bit. His ultimate ability is High Ground, which makes his own hill and he can shoot electricity down it. His passive ability is Electronic Pulse, which any enemy standing around him for more than a few seconds will automatically get stunned. Last character from Mega Man 3 is Shadowman. He's an unpredictable character. You would think he's a speedster, but we got some really good skills for him that make him more unpredictable. His first attack is Shadow Blade, of course. That's very predictable. It's a blade that he throws and it comes back to him. His ability is Smoke Bomb, which makes him teleport to an area. His ultimate is Raw Drop, which makes him jump in the air and then slam down on Raw Moon himself, and Raw Moon explodes into electricity. Shadowman has one of the coolest passives in the game, and that is One with the Shadows. Anyone that is not looking at him will make him slightly invisible. If there's no one looking at him, he'll turn basically invisible, and that is crazy. So that is all the characters from the original Mega Man series that I want to talk about today. But we have one extra character that you might know, and its name is X. X is the last character that come out in this game from the starter of the game. Hopefully there's like DLC or updates to the game or something. X is a balanced character. His first attack is Solar X Buster. The longer he doesn't shoot for, the more powerful his next shot will be. His ability is Old Powers, which has him randomly use an ability from X1. His ultimate is Fully Armored, which gives him a really big buff in almost everything, and he gets basically new skin for the rest of the game. This ultimate will have a longer charge than most ultimates. His passive is Evolutionary Robot. He gets stronger the longer he lives. I just want to say that when you start the game, you'll be starting with Mega Man, Proto Man, and Base. You can also choose any character that you want in the whole game, except for X, because he's kind of special. Alright, thank you guys for listening to my plans for Mega Man MOBA. Mega Man Robots ready? Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and comment down below which characters you want to see in the next video. I'll see you guys later. This is B-Long Boy out.